So let's talk about getting wealthy in this video, right? And I was doing some research and I came across the average time it takes to become a millionaire by state. If you look at this list, the numbers are a bit skewed. Some are very low, some are very high. But on average, without investing, it takes you around 65 years on average to become a millionaire. With investing, it takes you around 45 years to become a millionaire. Now, the average person is going to go to college and they're gonna get their degree when they're like 23 or 24, somewhere around there, depending on when you get in. And then let's take a year or two to account for not getting a job or finding that job in that field. So the average person is going to really get into their career at around 25 years old. And even if you start investing then, and you take it very seriously, and you become a millionaire in 45 years from then this means that you're gonna have to wait until you're nearly 80 years old or they're about to become a millionaire. Now, if you look at the number of millionaires in the world, we have over 56 million millionaires in the world right now, and 88% are self-made millionaires, meaning they don't have a college degree, they're not smarter than you, they don't have a very high IQ, and in 2021, just last year, the number of billionaires in the world reached an all-time high. So what this tells me is that there's clearly a shorter path to becoming a millionaire, and you don't have to wait 50 years, and that's why in this video, we're going to be talking about an aggressive plan to becoming a millionaire. Now, before we jump into that, a very quick reminder here, guys, to give the video a thumbs up. If you like these videos and you like these types of topics, remember, giving the video a thumbs up is completely free. I spend a lot of time researching and creating these free videos, and it doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button, and I'll really appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe. That way, you never miss the updates of when I post new videos on this channel. Now, we're talking about an aggressive plan to get rich fast or to become a millionaire, right? However, this is not a video where you're gonna learn about some method where you're gonna get rich overnight. In fact, if you look at some really popular people like Warren Buffett, for example, it took him decades to become a millionaire. Everybody knows Kevin Hart, a really popular comedian. It also took him over a decade to achieve that status. And so in this video, we're going to be looking at an aggressive plan to get rich or wealthy fast. But this plan, although it's aggressive, it's also going to be very realistic. Now, the first thing that we need to do, even before we get to this aggressive plan, is we need to define what wealth or becoming rich is, because this could be very different for many different people. So for example, for me, becoming rich or wealthy is to a point, or getting myself to a point where I have enough passive or active, could be both passive and active income sources, where I can comfortably take care of my living expenses. I can travel freely, I can save money, I can make investments whenever I want or whenever the opportunity arises. And I also have that financial security for as long as I can see into the foreseeable future. So just to put a number on it, let's just say, for example, I was making $15,000 per month, and from the income streams that I was making, this 15K per month, I expected, or I could see that I will be making this money for the next 30 plus years, or as far as I could see into the future. So that would be financial freedom or becoming wealthy for me, if that number would give me the lifestyle that I wanted. So for you, it may be different. Maybe to become rich or wealthy is for you to get to a net worth of 100 million or 10 million or 5 or 3. But the first thing that you need to do is to define what wealth or riches means to you. Now, if you're the average person and you just want to be financially free, then it's a bit more simple. But if you're a materialistic person, and let's say you want to have, you know, a $3 million mansion, and you want to have like a Lambo or a Lambo truck, probably you want a Ferrari, then in that case, you're gonna have to accumulate a lot more wealth than the simple-minded person to be able to afford those things that you want. Now, that doesn't matter as much as this aggressive plan works both ways. So I'm gonna break this down for you guys, and we're gonna talk about the formula and the aggressive plan to get rich fast, no matter if you are a simple person or if you want to have a lot of material things. So the first thing that you need to do is to start writing down the things that you want and the things that you need that will give you that feeling of fulfillment, where you feel like you're wealthy or rich. Now, personally, I found that when I put like notes in Google Docs or on my phone, it doesn't have that effect on me versus when I actually write things down in a notebook. For example, I got this planner here, right, that I write 5 tasks in every single day, and I find this to be very, very helpful. There's just something about writing stuff down. It helps you to remember, it helps you to stay committed versus just making notes on your phone, and it just works out better for me. So for example, in my case, my dream home cost about $800,000. Now, I'm not just making this up. I actually went ahead and contacted the builder for the model home that I liked, and I said, hey, I want to get one of these houses. What is it gonna cost me? And are you gonna find me the lot? And what are my options? And we went through the full process. And at the end, they said, hey, this is gonna cost you around $800,000. But if you try to buy this home on the market, you're gonna pay a lot more for it. But if you build it from scratch and you choose all the options that you like, then it's gonna cost you around $800K. So the point here is that now I know that I need $800,000 for this home. I'm not guessing or assuming or just have some unrealistic plan in my mind where I think, okay, I'm just gonna get 10 million and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna be rich. I actually have everything planned. I know what kind of home I want to purchase. I know how much it's gonna cost me. I know what kind of car I want. I know how much that car is gonna cost me. And similarly, I know how much money it will cost me to afford or to be able to afford living that lifestyle. Now, for me, this is a need for me to feel like I have achieved financial wealth or rich status or wealthy status. I need to be living in that house. So that is a need on my to get rich list. Now let's talk about wants. And similarly, I want a Lamborghini truck. However, this car costs over $200,000. And the more I think about it, if you have a home valued at $800K and your car is nearly 25 or more than 25% of the cost of your home, I think that is kind of ridiculous. And so I decided that this is not a need. It's just a want. I like the car. I'd like to have it. But if I don't get it, then I'll be fine. In fact, I can just go and rent this car for a weekend, maybe for $2,000, drive it all I want and get it out of my system, and then I can go back to driving a much cheaper car and maybe even a luxury car like a Mercedes, probably the AMG line, which is gonna cost me a lot less. Now, this is just an example, and the main point here is that you have to be able to differentiate between your wants and your needs when it comes down to achieving what you consider to be riches or wealth. Now, the next step is actually calculating the cost of maintaining this lifestyle. And again, your first list or your list is gonna be different from mine. It's gonna be different from everyone else's. Maybe you just want a $200,000 home and a $20,000 car and just $1 million in the bank where you can live off $35,000 to $45,000 every year for the next 50 to 60 years. Maybe that is your definition of being wealthy. Or again, maybe you want to drive your Lamborghini and you want a $2 million mansion, and it doesn't matter, but the main point here is that you want to identify what it is that makes you wealthy or will make you wealthy so that you can get an idea of what this lifestyle is going to cost you. So for example, right, let's take my dream home. My dream home is going to cost me around $800,000, and if I'm not paying cash for it, this means that if I put around 20% down, I'm gonna have a mortgage of around $2,800. And by the way, this information is free. All the information you need is free. You can go on Google and search for a mortgage calculator and put the cost in there. It will give you the numbers. And so now I know that I'm gonna need roughly $3,000 per month just to pay the mortgage on my dream home. So similarly with everything else that I want, I'm attaching a cost to it. So I'm getting the true picture of exactly what it's going to cost me every single month and every single year to live the rich or wealthy lifestyle that I want. Now, at this point, you can move on to step number 3, which is how long it will take you to earn this amount of money and how you will do it. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because if you think about this, right? If I wanted $10 million to feel rich or wealthy, or that was my goal, and I was currently working at McDonald's flipping burgers, and my boss was mad at me because I flipped a couple burgers that fell on the floor. I'm not very good at my job. I only make 10 bucks an hour. Then from 10 bucks an hour to 10 million seems unattainable if we're keeping it real, right? I may as well just tell myself that I'll never be financially free. But if I look at the home, the car, the cost of all the things that I want, the amount of money I want to have in the bank or investments, I can get the true cost of what it's going to cost me month by month or year by year to live the lifestyle that I want, to be wealthy or rich, and then I'll realize it's going to cost me, and we'll just use a random number here, $7,000, and that is the starting point. Now, I know that I'm only making $2,000 per month flipping burgers, and I need to start making an extra $5,000 per month to be able to achieve that wealth status that I want. So from here on, I know that I need to either one, get a better job, So I could probably go back to school, get a diploma or certificate, right? I could get some specialized skills, become a mechanic. I don't know, whatever it is that you're into or whatever will help you. And then from there on, I can start making $4,000 or $5,000 per month from having a better job. Now, when I get into this job, I know that I still need $3,000 more per month to get to my goal, which will be enough money to live the lifestyle that I want and to be rich or financially free if I maintain that income for 10 to 15 years. So now that you have a 9-to-5 job, it makes you, let's say, $5,000 per month, and you can't get another 9-to-5 job because, well, you have responsibilities. So you'll realize that you now either have to get better skills so you can start making that $7,000 per month that you need to afford in my case, or that you can use to get the house and the car or the lifestyle that you want. Or you need to go and start a business. But the main point is now you're very clear because you know that you need to make $3,000 more, and you're either gonna have to get a better job or you're gonna have to start a business, but you're clear on the path and what you need to do to get to the dollar amount to make you rich or wealthy. Now, if you think about it like this, you'll probably realize that your financial freedom, your wealthy or your rich goal isn't unattainable, and it isn't as far-fetched as if you were to just really think, hey, you know what? I want to be worth $10 million in 10 years from now. If you actually start assigning a dollar amount to every single thing that you want, then you'll find that it is not as far-fetched as you thought before. You can actually get there, and all it takes is to know what it costs. That's the first step. Know how much money you need to make to get there, and again, where you want to live. What kind of car do you want to drive? How much money do you want to have in savings? How much money do you want to have in your emergency fund? How much money do you want to be able to put in investments every single month or year? Or how much money it's gonna cost you to pay for your living expenses to live this rich and wealthy lifestyle? So if you add all these things up, you will get that dollar amount, and then you can actually start working towards being financially free or getting wealthy. Now, the next step from here on is you should start asking yourself, is this actually worth it? Do I actually want to go through with this? Do I want to adjust anything on my list? Or do I want to add anything? And this may change over time. And interesting fact here, guys, is that a large percent of the population is actually happy living paycheck to paycheck, because not many people are very interested in getting their personal finances together and getting on a budget or planning anything out. They just rather live paycheck to paycheck. Now, if that is you, that's also fine. But the main point is that you need to at least think about what you want and know how to get there. So now you need to ask yourself, do I want to get this better job? Do I want to keep trying a different business until I get one that makes me enough money? Or do I want to remove anything from my list? And again, this is going to help you to set a realistic yet aggressive plan to becoming wealthy. It's like my plan, for example, right? So I wanted this Lambo truck. I thought that I needed this Lambo truck. After I created my list of wants and needs, I moved it from a need to a want, because I would rather have my dream home, a Tesla, and a lot of cash than having to work extra hard just to buy a nearly $300,000 car. Now, another tip I'm going to throw in here is that you need to automate everything that you're going to do to progress you into wealth. Now, a lot of people have, let's say, a 401k plan, and they don't take advantage of it. And a good thing here is that you never have to manually add this money, and it's automatically deducted from your paycheck, and you don't have to take the default from your employer. You can go in there and set your own contribution amount. Also, if you're investing in places like the stock market, there are ways to automate these investments where you don't have to manually do it. And this way, you never forget to do it. You're consistently doing it, and there is less margin for error. Now, let's look at some numbers or statistics, right? If you're 30 years old and you want to get to $1 million, you'll have to invest around $1,400 per month for 35 years at a 3% yearly return to get to that goal. If you have investments that give you 6% in annual returns, now you only have to invest $740 for 35 years. Now, the boring index funds from Vanguard give you 10 to 12% per year. So again, you can invest less and get to 1 million in the same time, or you could increase the amount that you invest and get there even faster. Now, let's look at my favorite online tool, which is the investment calculator. And this is completely free. You guys can go ahead and put the numbers in and see what you need to do. And you start this, or let's say you start this at 25 years old when you get a job, and you start with $100 and invest this for 20 years until you get to 45 years old, and you get around 12%, which is a realistic return from boring index funds. And if all you do is add $1,200 every single month, you're gonna become a millionaire by the age of 45. Again, you can increase the amount you contribute, or depending on what you invest in, maybe you're investing into real estate or something else that gives you higher returns. This could even be a shorter period of time. So if you've been searching for the secret and the gurus haven't been giving you the secret, and you've been spending thousands of dollars on useless get-rich-quick schemes and courses, and all you find is useless information everywhere, then this is it. This is the secret that you've been looking for. This is how you can become a millionaire, and this is the aggressive plan that you need to use. It's that simple. All you need to do is know what your goals are and then take the steps to get there. Comment below and let me know what your plan is to gain financial freedom, independence, become rich, wealthy, however you want to put it, and let me know if you like my idea or my strategy of an aggressive plan to get rich. If you guys found some value in this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you also want to talk to me one-on-one, you can find me on Instagram. Link is down below in the description. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you all the best in making money, saving money, your investments, your retirement plans, becoming rich, wealthy, attaining financial freedom, however you want to put it. And I will see you guys very soon in the next one.